I keep telling myself I'm going to have Cradle of Filth lyrics ready for our Carrion Crown playthrough. And I keep disappointing everyone and myself because I don't. I could just keep looping her Ghost in the Fog. But I don't have them right now because I'm horrible, so I'll just say, what's up, guys? We are here for today. Actually, unfortunately, we had a patron drop earlier today, so this will be the last of our Carrion Crown intros before we start in. And I'm kind of like the silver lining of having lost 2 players at the end of prep is now we're down to a 4-man party, which means that our party is balanced. Our party is built for the AP. And when you have someone who's going to play in the AP, whose whole shtick is I'm going to make more dudes do more fighting in that AP, but there's 6 of us, and then here's 5 fire elementals, it can get a little unbalanced. So I guess now the role of the tank, I'm air quoting hard, must indeed fall to Anthony's big, scary Oni tiefling, but I'm not going to tell you anything about that. I'll let Anthony do that. Anthony, and who is officially, like, I can now check off Japan as a place someone has streamed from when they streamed with me. What's going on, dude? How you doing?
Not too bad. Good to be here. It's been a while.
It has. It's
Ready
weird.
to play.
Anthony is... Look, I got hair in my mouth and it's gross. Anthony and Robin are, I think, and Shui are the only people who made it all the way through the OG Doomsday Dawn crew rolling forward with this. And that's exciting, because now I can see Anthony not only not play a Magic the Gathering character, but also play the same guy for more than like 3 sessions. And if you would remind us also who your character is, what they do, some background information about them, so we can, be brought up to speed and stuff.
So my character I'm going to play this campaign is Moalden. He is a Oni tiefling spawn. Oni spawn tiefling. He is blue with a single horn in the center of his forehead that goes out about an inch and a half. Not too big of a horn. He is. I tried to make it so that he looked like a character, like somebody in particular. So if anybody can remember the actor who plays the Hound, but without all the scarring on the face, that's what I want to kind of have him like, facially structured and body structured, because he's also very tall. He's a tall individual. He comes from a background that he doesn't actually know much about, because he was born in basically born straight into the orphanarium because his mother died in childbirth, and his father, his Oni father, he has no idea who he is. He just knows that he does not like Onis. He was raised with the cult of Ragathiel, and he is a worshiper of Feronia. He is a inquisitor with the monster tactician abilities, so he's basically an inquisitor summoner. So that is why Tommy keeps alluding to my ability to create more dudes. I am very much summoner focused on that, but also my character is also going to be wielding a big old sword, a bastard sword to be precise, and going into combat. So I'm not just sitting back summoning and sending dudes out. I'm going to be running out there with them.
Especially when all those dudes, if I remember correctly, all those dudes, they all share your teamwork feats, don't they?
Teamer?
They're your team, not your red blue magic, your teamwork feats.
Oh yeah. They will eventually get my teamwork feats at level 5. I get teamwork feats starting at level 3, but then I have the solo tactician or whatever, and then also they get it at level 5. They'll get all teamwork feats that I get, which adds up, especially when you have like outflank and all those fun little things.
Indeed, yeah, it's gonna get real dumb real quick. Also, it's Rory McCann, the name of the actor in question, who doesn't look terrible when he's not.
No, not at all. I did not choose him because I thought he looked terrible. I thought he just looked more rugged and gruff, I guess, because the description I always had of Oni tieflings in particular was that they looked bigger and stronger than the average person, and I always thought that guy looks bigger and stronger than the average person. So,
and he does. What I mean by like not gruff is like when you take the melted face off of him, dude doesn't look horrible. I'm just so used to seeing the Hound. But anyway, we will dive in. Moalden is the kind of guy who works alone. Moalden has never been super good at making friends, what with the impulses and urges to punch things and the not good ability at talking about things. So after your training, basically all of your missions have been undergone by yourself. This is, again, partially because you're kind of rude to everybody around you, partially because honestly, there are a lot of people within the church that don't necessarily think you need the help. Your prowess, like both in the interrogation room and on the battlefield, they're not necessarily of legend, but you've proven yourself enough to where you are let go out on your own to do these kinds of things. And Moalden's latest mission has sent him to the town of Hergstag. Children in the area have been going missing. No one really has much of a clue as to what's going on. But as it is basically everywhere in Ustalov, probably something is going bump in the night. Word got back to... I forget his name. Word got back to... I think his name was William. Yeah. William Gert, and you were sent out from the church to here. And we will turn it over to you basically right here, right now, as you approach the village.
What's my current objective again?
You don't really know yet. You know kids have been going missing, but that's as far as anybody's gotten.
All right, then the first thing I would do is head into the closest church of sorts.
Okay.
The closest religious place of worship.
Got you. So, Hergstag is a very, 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 very tiny little farming, hunting village. There's
Hamlet?
Probably less than that. There's, I'm actually counting the map. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 houses. And that's the entirety of the village. It's a religious settlement in and of, everywhere out here is, because having the holy symbol at hand is pretty useful.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every house has a little tiny bow and arrow, Erastil's holy symbol, hanging in front of the door. Some have, the Ankh of Sarenrae.
Makes sense. Alrighty then. Is there a gathering of sorts, or is there a place where people go?
Again, not really.
Nothing.
The town is just houses.
What do I see when I get into this town? Am I seeing anything? Am I seeing people go about their day? Am I seeing kids running around? Am I seeing, am I seeing any of that stuff?
No kids, which tracks with the all the kids are going missing thing. As you cross in, there are definitely, Hergstag sits on a little river. There are plenty of, people sitting on the shore fishing, and there's a healthy amount of... All these little houses basically have just slightly over what, subsistence farming would be. Not enough to, make a huge profit, but to, help feed the community. And, of course, everyone looks up at you when you come in. And remind me, you, the art that I had found for you, and I want to make sure it tracks for your character. We are still under the impression that, Moalden has his hood and his horn covered under a hood and things, right?
Yeah, that works. That works for me. As long as they can see my eyes, though.
Yeah, definitely can see your eyes. And people all kind of, hang as here comes a stranger in a strange set of armor and hood walking to town. No one really says much of anything. They just kind of go about their business in the hopes that you don't notice them.
Okay. I would like to find, I guess, the closest person and ask them where who's the leader of this area. Bring me to your leader.
Take me to your leader. Okay.
Exactly.
Makes
Find,
sense.
yeah, like a village elder or something.
Okay. Um, there's not really like an elder in the village. Like you approach the nearest human man behind a really sad-looking ox and a plow, and he turns and just, well, we all kind of take care of ourselves here in Hergstag. Who are you again? And he kind of like tries to, without like, he doesn't grab you and throw the hood back, but like leaning in to try to get a better look at you to like figure out just what it is you are.
I intimidate him a lot.
You intimidate him a lot.
I am definitely imposing. First off, I'm taller than most people in general, and especially humans. I will stare him down and give him that eye of you do not want to do that.
Okay. So you do that. He kind of takes like he goes to turn his head almost like a dog trying to figure out what you are, and then the eyes meet your eyes, and he kind of freezes. His knees begin to knock. It's rather common. Even the sad oxen is a little frightened as it turns, realizing it's been stopped, and then sees you, and then starts like freaking out. Oh, I'm sorry. I won't. Don't look at that anymore. I've gone from redneck to cockney in 2 minutes. That's how scared I am.
All right. Do I have any reports of where the children that have disappeared lived? Maybe I'll go talk to some parents of some children then, if I know where they have disappeared from.
It's basically like everybody in this town has children. It's very like idyllic and stereotypical like southern living, that kind of thing. You have your family and your kids, and the kids grow up and they take over your farming responsibilities, and then they have their own kids and circle of life and all that.
Then I'm going to have to find some sort of lead here to find out where these children are. Then without a leader, without a religious place, without a place of gathering where I can, question people. The farmers doesn't even know anything about a leader or something like that. Does the gentleman that I'm next to, do you have any children?
Oh, I gotta pick an accent and stick with it. I am feeling frightened as the gaze of Moalden hits me and I can't stay in character. I have a daughter. Her name...
Have you heard any of the stories about the disappearing children?
I have. I give thanks to Wrestle every night that my Elsa hasn't gone missing yet.
Elsa. Do you know where I can find a parent of someone who's gone missing?
Well, I suppose, and at this point you're not small. You have drawn the attention of everybody here, and there's kind of like a crowd has formed around you, such as this. It's the whole population of Hergstag, and it's like, all told, it's probably like a couple dozen people, but crowded is. And a woman comes forward and, my daughter's been missing some time now.
Do you know, did anything happen? Did you smell sulfur? Was there lights in the night?
No. She just went out to play one day and she didn't come back. No sulfur, no lights in the night.
Just Ustalav is a hilarious place. Okay. Uh, when she went missing, was she playing with other kids that also went missing, or was she playing alone?
Well, I I don't rightly know. I was out in the field and she was off playing, maybe with her friends, maybe by herself. I'm not sure. I just know that when time came for dinner, she didn't come and we went out looking for her, and she
Hmm.
shrugs, nods her head solemnly.
Yeah, I attempt to comfort her in a loving way with just my eyes and just stare at her and be like try to comfort her, but I fail miserably at it, and it just looks scary and awkward at the same time.
Fair enough. Everybody probably, like, as your gaze turns her direction, everybody kind of takes a half step back. As this happens, an old man leaning on a sad looking, I'll call it a cane. More aptly, it's just a stick that has weathered a lot of things moving forward. He leans down to, like, look at the ground, trying to, like, work up his courage and not look in your eyes because you're terrifying. And, well, I think it was the beast. And the, like, as he says this, the people in the town give him incredulous looks. There are murmurs of, yeah, whatever kind of thing. And then people go to, like, oh no, werewolves, vampires, and other generic Ustalavic things as well.
Hmm. The beast, you say? I would like to. Am I able to do sense motive here?
You can get a hunch.
I would like to get a hunch.
Okay. Well, he's not. He's old. He's
Hmm.
not, like, you don't think he's got, like, any kind of, like, mental deficiencies due to his age. He's obviously terrified of you. He's the whole town is kind of afraid in general, given what's
Yeah.
happened to their children. But then here come you, and, like, you don't necessarily help the situation.
Yeah. But I am here to help.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. I I would like to question this guy more than the beast, you say. Where where have you heard of such a creature?
I saw him with my own two eyes. His eyes, like, as he gets the courage to look at you, his eyes kind of, like, bulge out of his head with abject horror as he recounts the tale and takes in your countenance at the same time. He's a huge thing. Bluish, grayish skin. Lives out, and he kind of, like, waves his hand generically south. Out that way somewhere, I think. I don't know. I saw him when I was in the fields. I think he saw that I saw him and he ran away. Made some funny noises too, not the likes of which I'd ever heard. I don't think he's of this world, the beast.
Hmm. Well, would you mind if I ask who your patron is?
My patron? I don't understand what you mean, sir.
Which god do you serve?
Ah, me? I'm but a simple man. I don't really farm anymore. My son does all the farming. And at this, a clearly descendant of the old man, they share a lot of similar features, yet 30 years younger, tries to pull dad back into the crowd. Ah, you stop it, son! Whaps him in the knee with the cane. He moves back. Ah, these days I just tend to the house. Stay right by old Deadeye, you know. Take care of me and mine.
Good to know. You have a strong community here.
We do what we can. Everyone kind of murmurs in agreement at this.
Well, how many children have gone missing?
So far, 6.
And none of you have gone to check out this beast character to see if this is not just a fantasy?
Well, no one believes me. I told you. And he turns in the direction of the populace at large. I told you, waving his cane at everyone. The beast is real. He took our children.
My question is, have you not heard worse or more scary things in this place? And yet you don't believe in the possibility that he might be telling the truth?
There are general murmurs of apprehension at this. Some people nod and grab their pitchforks.
Well, this is the best lead I seem to have, so I will attempt to find and put closure to whatever has happened. If this turns out to be a false start, I will be back. And I leave. That's all I got.
Fair enough. Okay. So you take off in the general southern direction of Hergstad. You know, the city of Lepidstadt is like 10 miles south of here, though this is out in the boonies. You aren't far from civilization at large out here. Your old friend, the professor, teaches at the university in Lepidstadt. It's not super long after you make your way out of town that you find bigger than like both of your hands put together boot prints in, like, it's rained the other day and it's still pretty muddy out, just like smooshed down into the mud.
I would like to follow the footprints, but I would like to follow it cautiously. Not to be just plodding around. I just walk as cautious as I can as a big guy with armor.
That's fair. Okay. You're able to do so. It's surprisingly quiet out here. Usually, like, wandering the hinterlands of Ustalov, from time to time you'll have to stop and, like, here are a couple of crappy half-hit dice zombos you gotta put down. Moving on. But it's really quiet as you begin making your way following these tracks. You turn a corner as eventually you kind of come to a more wooded area. As you do so, the form of an enormous humanoid who hasn't seen you, like, you come the corner and, like, here's his back, its shoulders shrug as it's making some kind of noise. It's hard to tell what it's doing because the noise is so, like, foreign, as if it doesn't quite understand emotion or is incapable of producing it. It kind of just comes out as like a
Sounds like Frankenstein's monster.
Well, the guy who's played the AP before.
Yeah, I've only played the first book.
Fair.
And even then, that had nothing to do with Frankenstein's monster.
In any case, the creature has yet to notice you.
I will attempt to get a better vantage point to hopefully see whatever he's working on.
Okay. You're able to do so. You can get around the side of him. And once you do, you can see that the creature, who again is like almost bursting from the seams, this is how burly the dude is, skin a little lighter than your own, closer to like a blue-gray than yours, which I imagine to be just kind of like a royal blue color. He's holding a little human girl who lies motionless. As you get around, you can see that his face, which appears to be like stitched into basically that, like, he is incapable of expressing emotions with his facial features, as his face is basically just like stitched together, contorted in a constant grimace. Nevertheless, the creature appears to be sobbing. It's kind of hard to tell because it also clearly lacks tear ducts.
All right, well, I then draw my sword and cautiously approach, being ready to also summon as I approach.
Okay.
Creature.
Why, Elsa's dead. It looks up at you.
Why? Why is Elsa dead?
Oh, she went to the hill. And he, like, it's really hard for this thing to form words. You imagine that whatever created it didn't put vocal cords necessarily in the right place, so most of it just comes out as syllables, signs, tongue, and vocal cords. And ghost, and he makes, like, he holds up a hand and punches his own hand pretty hard. The sound of, like, flesh slamming against flesh echoes throughout the hinterlands. Couldn't hurt it, and now she's gone. He begins to sob and, like, gorilla slam his forearms into the ground.
I look around. Is this like, looks like a lair or is encampment, or do I see anything else around, or is it just like just a blank wooded area?
There's not really much of anything here. It's just like there is enough woods to conceal you guys from the road, and there's kind of like gentle rolling hills everywhere.
Can you show me where Elsa died? Did she die here?
No! You will help me?
Maybe. I must first ascertain to what is going on. I must get all the information before I act.
It nods. It gets up, and you are versed in what things are. As per your training, you're good at identifying the various kinds of undeads and things. And as it stands up, and you see, like, its chest is a different color than everything else. It's like one of its arms is more of a green than a blue. Its chest is kind of reddish. Its whole everything appears to have been just stitched together. You very clearly can identify this thing as a flesh golem.
Okay. Yeah, I have Arcana, Planes, and Religion is what I've chosen.
Okay, fair enough. It's pretty obvious that this thing has been stitched together, and it is magic that is keeping it alive. It also would explain why it is having problems speaking, and like how it can't show emotion, because it doesn't, in much of a sense of the word, feel emotion. That said, it is carrying a sizable, looks like it would be an axe, except for it's curved a little too far forward, almost like hook shaped. As well as a, again, pretty big this thing is, crossbow slung the other way on its back. It begins loping back in the direction of Hergstag.
I follow it. Very cautiously, though, because, yeah, usually flesh golems serve usually something. They're not usually just designed to just wander on their own.
That is indeed a fair statement. Something would have created this for sure. As it does so, you see also, like, despite how enormous and monstrous this thing is, it's carrying Elsa, this little girl's body, because as you get closer, you can tell she truly has expired. She's carrying the body as if she were made of glass, and like the stiffest breeze would shatter her. You guys make your way back to Hergstag. He begins loping in the direction of a hill on the southern edge of town, kind of like had you gone a little farther west, you would have gone up and over the hill.
Okay.
He points in the direction of it.
Well, let's go. Let's go see. What is your name?
My name? He kind of like scratches the back of his head. His hair, which kind of just forms the shape of a mohawk, really. Like, he doesn't have a full head of hair, and no one tried to necessarily, like, style his hair that way, but he only has so much, and it only falls kind of like on the left. As I set my hair up so it does the same. You can take that one for free, Twitch. Yeah, it's just Carmack. Call me. And he kind of, like, he says something that's really intelligible and noise, basically. His tongue kind of like, yeah, he's a flesh golem. That makes sense. As he talks, his tongue lolls a little too far out of his mouth, and you can see the stitch has ripped. That is holding it, like, this lower half of his tongue. Ugh. It hangs awkwardly, threatening to, like, fall onto the ground. He stuffs it back in. As you guys make your way to the top of this hill, you see the people of Hergstag have abandoned their fields and have organized. Several of them are carrying the standard, like, torch and pitchfork. A couple of them have crossbows and maybe, like, the odd long spear here and there. And as you guys get towards the top of this hill, you are capable of kind of just, like, dropping to the ground when the eyes turn your direction. However, the flesh golem is not. They're a little far away at the moment for you to really make words out. Also, there's like a dozen of them all speaking at once loudly in one direction. They begin moving towards you at this notion. The beast begins. You're pretty sure that he's crying. But again, the face and the lack of tear ducts just kind of, and the lack of most of a tongue at this point, kind of make it just come off like he's trying to say Elsa, but basically just makes random noise as he moves in that direction carrying the poor girl's body.
This is not going to end well. I'm gonna call you Bob. You said she died here, Bob. We're gonna have to move. You cannot stay here. You're gonna have to get to the tree line.
He looks back at you as you say this, and you go, "Oh!" Points at chest. "Ah,
Yes, Bob.
Elsa, Elsa," and that's pretty loud, and it echoes down the hill. And it's around this point that the humans below get the gist of what is happening and begin to rush upwards. A stray crossbow bolt passes like just shy of his head and well wide of yours, but you can feel the wind on it as several more people come running up.
And I will have to go up and greet them.
Okay. As you do so, the beast gets the gist of what's happening. Frightened for his life, he drops Elsa's body, which lands with a sickening thud and kind of like rolls 3 or 4 steps down the hill before coming to rest on a rock before loping back in the direction of the tree line. You move down. The people all surround you with their pitchforks lowered. "You're with him, aren't you? You're with the beast. You're one of them. That's why you hide your form under a hood, isn't it?"
I attempt to speak calmly and clearly, but I do so with my normal manner, which ends up not going too well because I am not very good at this. I am not associated completely with this creature, but you cannot just jump to assumptions. You must be able to take in all information before acting. This is not a situation that can be resolved quickly. You asked me to find what has taken your children, and I am here to find what has taken your children. This creature has told me that Elsa here has passed away here. I must find out more information. If you attack now, you will just lose the information and it may not stop whatever has happened to your children. That's all I got for right now.
Okay. So as you're talking, every like sixth or seventh word, there's another mournful howl scream from off in the distance behind you. Somebody moves forward and picks up Elsa's body, takes it over to Elsa's dad, or Elsa's parents at large, I guess, rather. And you can see that, like, despite the beast being as gentle as the beast could, she appears as if her body at least has several broken bones. When she hit that rock that stopped her, she hit it with her head, and there's no blood flowing out, but it definitely messed up the body a little bit. And everybody sees this and hears the sound of the beast running, and it's obvious what did this to poor little Elsa and the rest of the children. It was that thing out there, that beast. You're sitting here trying to talk to us, now it's gotten away. Some kind of help you are. And from the back, the old man goes, I think he did that on purpose. I think he's an agent of the beast. Look at his eyes. Or don't look at his eyes, they're kind of scary. But look at his eyes. They are full of malice. Just like the beast when he killed our poor children. There's a general, yeah, rabble, rabble cry amongst all the people. The old man moves forward and points his cane up. Because you're tall and he's hunchbacked, points up in the direction of your hood. Just, take that thing off if you're not with the beast. Show us what you really are.
If I show you what I really am, it doesn't matter. You will still judge me as if you're just a mob mentality at this point. You will not listen to reason.
And as you say this, it's very clear. Yeah, no, they're not going to listen to you. There's a general chant of, like, basically just people crying for you to remove your hood. A lot of, like, kill the beast! Kill the beast! General prayers that to Erastil and Sarenrae and Pharasma as people begin reloading crossbows that have been fired. Torches are swung wildly your direction. Of course, you know the torch doesn't put off enough heat to actually harm you.
Yeah, but I still don't want my clothes to burn, so I will, back away slightly, not too crazy, but I'm not bound to get burned. No, I'm bound to get my clothes burned because I'm not going to get burned.
Yeah, no, you are not going to be harmed by a D4 of fire damage at all. What are you waiting for? Take the hood off! Show us what you are! Are you one of us? Or are you a beast?
I pull out the holy symbol, my holy symbol of Feronia, and say, I'm here to search, and then I make it glow by putting divine energy into the holy symbol.
Okay. People see this. Feronia's holy symbol glows. The fire kind of like radiates out. No one really understands what that deity is about, so they kind of just see fire.
Fire with over stars. There's stars on there.
And there's stars. They see stars and fire, and they begin to panic. People begin to, like, surround you all the way. It gets to the point where, like, pitchforks are into your back, almost. Enough of your games! We're not here for some parlor magic. We're here to know if you're one of us, or if you're a beast. As he says this, his head kind of like leans back up almost sideways as if he too is some kind of a beast. That's how contorted this old man is.
I pull off my hood.
And then they see. And then a general cry of, Beast! Kill it! Kill him! Kill him! Obviously, most of these people are like, they are by no means combat trained. Crossbow bolts whiz like a foot and a half over your head. People stab with pitchforks, but you're able to dodge around them. It's a mess, and they are intent on stopping you. Actually, one of the torches does end up tagging you in the face because you're not thinking about dodging it. Because,
Mm-hmm.
like, would you, or why would you anyway? And on that note, Streaming God 1, thank you for following us on Twitch. You're a good man. You like lean into the torch fire, and you being a tiefling, fire doesn't really hurt you, but like a bit of your hair catches, it smolders a little, and then people see this, and the uncanny valley occurs, and put out the torches. They don't need no torches. We need. And he pulls out a holy symbol of Erastil and waves it in your direction. Obviously, it does nothing. Without some kind of intervention, though, eventually someone's gonna get lucky.
Yeah, so I am going to summon a celestial eagle and then try to get out of the crowd.
Okay. Everyone panics as this is happening. You're able to keep your concentration because, again, it's pretty effortless. The people that do connect usually just chainmail, I'm guessing.
I actually didn't buy it yet, but something I don't know what I can afford. I didn't buy all my armor yet.
That makes sense.
I think it's just leather right now, actually.
Okay, so the contact's the leather, and like it can't pierce you because it only kind of glances off and around. And the eagle is summoned. You hold up your arm, it grabs you by a bracer, and 1, 2, 3 flaps into the air, carrying you off. The people give chase for a while, but it becomes pretty evident pretty fast that they're not going to be able to keep up with you.
But they can't even tell that it's a celestial eagle?
At this point, they're so whipped up that they're not really noticing it.
Well, the monster got away is what I think happened, right? And yeah. I am trying to get away as well. But
yeah, the monster got away. You could probably find him if you really wanted to, but he's not anywhere around. Eventually, the townsfolk give up and they go back to Herdsdog.
I think I really messed that one up. I regroup, try to figure out what's going on, and then I'm gonna try to I'm gonna use Oath of Anonymity and try to walk I'm gonna wait a little bit, have the murmur, the pitchfork and all that stuff die down a little bit, like go on later at night or something when hopefully people are asleep.
Okay. So I'm just loading the spell real quick. It's cantrip. The spell distorts your voice by subtly altering your body. Any animals you do. The spell gives you a +10 on disguise checks to conceal your identity. Okay, fair enough. So you make your way back in later at night. There's like a paltry amount of townsfolk at this point that are keeping guard because they still have that gotta get up in the morning and go to work mentality, but there are a couple of the men, they recognize like the two with their crossbows, are sitting on wagons watching the town as you approach. There's that general, halt! What are you doing out in these parts so late? Don't you know there's a beast out there? Obviously, they have no idea who you are.
Yep. And I'm a beast hunter. I thought they were at the hill, so I'm going towards the hill.
Nah, we ran him off earlier, actually. There's a big one. Hey, you gotta watch out for that big one. Looks like he could punch through a house if he really wanted to. Big old angry thing. Can't speak no common either. And then there's this blue fella. And he sticks out his pointer finger and then puts his hand on his forehead to indicate a horn. Big old, I don't know, some kind of, I don't even know. Is that like a were unicorn? I don't know what they make out here. I don't know. Not like anything I'd ever seen. Clearly in cahoots with the beast, though.
I will look and try to find them. But first, I must go check out the hill. So, if you would. And then I walk towards the hill.
Okay. They don't stop you. There's a general, like, you better be careful out there. There's a beast. But no one really, like, abandons their post. You make your way towards the hill. And what do you find? Well, atop the hill, there is a... the first thing you notice is, as you make your way up, you still have your dark vision, I'm assuming, even after casting the cantrip. So you see them. They're not super well concealed, but there are several bear traps that have been placed around this hill, and you're able to, like, pick around them and stuff. Probably about a dozen of them, all told.
Yes, I will attempt to avoid the bear traps.
Seems good. Okay. So there's... atop the hill, there is a... It's hard to notice it. It's covered on all sides around it by pretty thick overgrowth, but there's a hole. About... you, with your arms spread out all the way, could probably clear it with a couple inches on either side of your fingers. It's pretty big, but if you didn't know what you were looking for, it wouldn't be hard for you to, like, just run over top of it and then fall in the hole.
Mm-hmm. Can I see down into the hole?
Down into the hole, you can see it's a considerable drop. It's probably 25, 30 feet down there. You don't really see... Well, no. You would see several little tiny bodies in this hole. A bit of, like, a leg here, an arm there.
Bodies as in, their whole bodies, or are they torn apart?
It's hard to say.
Okay. How deep is it?
Again, like 25, 30 feet.
Yep. Is there a tree nearby that I can tie a rope to?
Not really. Most of the trees are, like, farther down the hill.
And nothing else is around here?
Not that you can see.
All right. I don't have feather fall. I don't have the giant to use as a backstopper to let me go down. I want to see more of what's in there. I will attempt to climb down without a rope, but you said I can almost clear it with my hands?
Yeah,
Is there a possibility of bracing on a corner or another side?
You could try. It's awkward, but it's possible.
Well, I will try. I have a pretty decent strength score, so.
Okay. So it's hairy, but you're able to make your way basically all the way down. A random, like, bit of rock here and there provides you enough handholds that if you ever lose your grip, you only fall a couple feet before you're able to brace onto something. You get about, like, 15 feet down before you're able to, like, before the place opens up, basically, in such a way that you would need to fall the rest of the way to get down. Well, no, you could try to, like, not the spell, but, like, spider climb around, but it would be super difficult, and you can, in fact, see the bodies of these kids. There are 5 in total.
Okay. And they're complete?
Yeah, they seem to be in one piece.
Okay. Does it look like they just fell in here, or does it look like they were thrown in here? Like, is there blood splatter? I'm going to be looking around to see if the blood splatter is consistent of them falling in and dying that way, like breaking a leg or something, or if there's no blood splatter and they were just thrown in here after the fact. Or
Okay.
less blood splatter.
You don't see a whole lot of blood, but what you do see is several of these bodies are, even for little kids, they're a little too small. As if, like, all of the vital life force and blood and muscle that makes us had been drained away.
I see. In this hole, there's anything else in here? You said it opened up?
It opens up like as it gets a little too like big, basically, to keep climbing. You don't see a whole lot of anything else, but around that time, you hear the sounds of screams coming from the village.
I will attempt to climb out.
You do so, and the town is. People have gotten what livestock they have, their donkeys, their horses, their oxen, and they're herding them south. Some people are not able to get away from the creatures that are wandering, and as you make your way to the top and take in the scene, the children, as incorporeal forms of themselves, wander the village. They get a little too close to what might have been mommy or daddy and reach out to hug. As they do so, the parent, mostly they're able to dodge and stuff, but it's obvious that the touch is painful. Your training as an Inquisitor identifies you don't see the original, but these kids have clearly returned in Undeath, and they've returned as the spawn of a wraith, which would indicate that the beast is probably, not responsible.
Oh yeah, more than likely. And the Wraith probably wouldn't be able to disguise himself as a human.
Right.
So it means the Wraith is still in the thing. But I will definitely summon an eagle and can I take on a Wraith at this point?
You cannot.
Yes, why not?
A wraith and a lot of its spawn are way over your head.
That's what I thought. I would know that, so I wouldn't run in stupidly.
Yeah.
But I definitely would summon an eagle to have something by my side to help me if I need to escape or whatnot, or to do that. But I will try to go into the town, and basically I'm going to have to use the fear that they have of me and be like, ha, and scare them away from the wraiths, and so that I also can I'll try to save people.
Okay.
Without killing myself. So I run in there. Run! These creatures, they are no longer your children. Do not let them touch you. Run!
And they happily listen. They see you, and there's a bit of the beast, and then that all kind of stops as they run just south as far and fast as they can.
And well, if I now know, do I see the original Wraith?
You do not.
Okay. Well, I know that the children have died, and I believe that they become wraiths. I would like to try to find the original wraith without getting too close.
Okay. Yeah, after summoning an eagle to buzz you around Hergstad, you come upon, though fortunately it does not see you, a hooded form, which certainly must be the head wraith. It's kind of just lurking around the hill. Fortunately, people are avoiding the hill, mostly because they know there's bear traps there, and that would compound their issues. Of course, the wraith can just float over top of them, and even if the wraith were to touch one, a wraith being incorporeal would just go through the thing. Nevertheless, it just kind of watches the scene.
All right. I believe I have the information I need. I will have to go back and inform William.
Okay.
William, what I found out. I cannot do anything myself, so I will need a team. I will try to. The townsfolk are not going to listen to me, so I will write a note, I guess, put it on the door to not go near the hill. There are creatures here, and you need an exorcism.
That makes sense. Okay. So you put the note on the Just don't go there. It's bad. And then make your way back across Ustalav, back to the church. William hears the tale, nods thoughtfully, is not super surprised that the townsfolk wouldn't listen to... Would you say William knows what you are? In terms of... Okay.
Oh, yeah, he definitely knows what I am.
That's someone whose blood has been tainted by a demon from Tien Sha, which, like, you are probably the only one in Ustalav. So people would see you and have no idea what it is you are, but generally speaking, bad is what that is. Makes sense that they wouldn't listen to you. He organizes a team to go out to Hergstag. That's kind of the last you hear of everything, because obviously they need to send bigger guns than you. Your reputation is like someone who can get it done alone and who is big and fearsome is one thing. Sometimes you got to send 20 dudes who are bigger, though. And in this way, about 6 months pass. You don't really hear anything from them. The team makes it back. They report no such sightings of wraiths. They have consecrated the area, but the village has been abandoned. Little, like, you've left a sticky note, they leave warning signs. Like, do not approach bad things here. You are sent during this time, basically all throughout Ustalav, as you are want to do, basically sent on more missions and learning more about your religion. As this happens, the scenarios are kind of the same. Approach village in need of help. Village is skeptical about you because you are big and blue and scary. Village realizes you're a Tien tiefling. There is basically the song and dance loops. Fortunately, there's nothing bigger than, like, zombies, skeletons, the odd, like, though you don't necessarily think you're happiest about it, but a village near a small copse of trees is plagued by a host of giant spiders. So that one's fun for you, but you get it done. On one such occasion, though, you almost lose your cool as one of the villagers, when they realize what you are, rotten tomatoes you in the face. You don't do anything bad about it, but, like, the whole of what is not human in you seeds at it. The urge to kill everyone around you and prove your dominance over their species. You fight it down, but it doesn't stop your Oni heritage from asserting itself in such a way that in return for a backstory, I'll let you pick which one. It has to be Oni flavored when you describe it on your character, but Moalden receives 1 evolution point to be spent as you see fit.
What's an evolution point?
As if you were an Eidolon.
So, as if I was the Eidolon?
Mm-hmm. So you could get, it's been a while since I played a synthesist. But I like the one that gives me a +8 on skill checks. Skill check, not all of them. Geez. Bite attack, and perhaps like an extra appendage. I forget, but it's up to you. You pick whichever.
Okay.
As the 7 months pass and you make your way back home, one day you are greeted with a letter. And in that letter, you are informed that an old friend of yours, someone who you once saved from some cultists long ago, the one and only Professor Petros Lorimore, has suddenly, he has tragically and suddenly passed away. You have been, in return for you saving him so long ago, you've been named in his will, and you are asked to attend the funeral. In the tiny little town of Ravengrow. It's bigger than Hergstag, but not many of them. One horse town. And that is where we are going to call the final of our Carrion Crown prologues. I'm sad that I don't have an Ifrit sorcerer, but it'd be fine. We don't need to burn all the things, I suppose. Next week, we'll be back at it for a now much more... What is our party now? A sorcerer, a shaman, a vampire hunter and an inquisitor. So 2d8s and 2d6s. Yeah, I feel like the vampire hunter might be a d10. I forget. But basically Gish and 2 full casters walk into a bar. Zombies appear. Welcome to Carrion Crown. And I promise you'll have your Cradle of Filth quotes by next time. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Say bye, Anthony.
Have a good one.